OPEC, to give you the very simple answer, it's an organization whose basic reason to exist is it's in its name, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. The original members were 4 countries in the broadly defined Middle East, Iran included there, plus Venezuela. That was 60 plus years ago today, and a lot has happened since. 60 plus years ago, the basic animating idea was we, who are custodians, producers of all this oil, we should be the ones who determine how much of it is sold and produced and exported around the world. These countries felt a little bit as a response to what had been control of the global oil market vested in global multinational oil companies. They wanted to get together as a core group of quite powerful oil producers and say, we're going to be the ones setting the target price of oil by setting the target production amounts. We'll keep some oil in the ground if we see fit. We'll produce and export more if we see fit, but we want to vest that authority within our member states. As the membership has grown, you now have 13 within OPEC, 24 in this OPEC plus, but those core 13 are the ones who are by and large setting those production targets that ultimately have a huge impact on the global price of oil. There has been, almost as long as OPEC has existed, there has been controversy surrounding its role in all of this. If you ask members of OPEC what OPEC is, they would say, it's good we're here because it's arguably one of the most, if not the most important global commodities, and you wouldn't want to have wildly fluctuating oil prices that might happen if we weren't doing this careful work of calibrating the situation in the global economy. A lot of other people would say that's really not what's going on here. The word cartel is thrown around a lot. And what's meant by that is a suggestion, if not an accusation, that OPEC basically operates to benefit its own members. Because if you can keep prices at a certain level, you're going to generate more wealth for yourself. The same way, by the way, the oil companies would have done had they been the only ones directing this. That is always, particularly when oil prices rise precipitously, there's where the controversy comes in. The future of OPEC is a really interesting question, and it's intertwined, of course, with the future of energy on this planet. Many people made the point when Biden made this trip to Saudi Arabia. The answer is not to try to browbeat the members of OPEC to do things a certain way. The answer is to wean yourself off of oil. We've seen a really dramatic example in the wake of the war in Ukraine. The Europeans, the Germans in particular, have realized too late, but they've realized they need to wean themselves off of Russian oil and gas. The result, though, across the continent has been a very precipitous drop in demand. They basically just asked their citizens to try to cut their oil and gas usage. There's a big push to renewables across most of Europe. And that, in the long term, is what's going to make a difference. Because if the world does what almost everybody on the planet agrees is necessary to go to wind and solar and other greener sources, renewable sources of energy, then OPEC will have lost its reason to exist, or at least its power and relevance.